Hey Virgo, it's your turn. You're the last one to do the hidden, and then we're gonna do Gemini's birthday reading. Apologies on the nails. Guess what I did? Because I'm not getting manicures done, I decided that I was going to do my own cuticles, trim them too short. So you get but then I decided it was probably a good idea to do readings instead of making you wait until, Anyway, check in the description box for everything you need to know, including, where you can check your natal chart, pull your natal chart, find out all the things you need to know, such as what your rising, moon, and Venus sign is. I assume that you are here because this is your sun sign. Virgo, it's your turn to delve into the hidden for June 2025. We're going to start with the magnetic poetry, followed by your reading with cards with the pretty backs. It's just, the antique Rider Waite. I think it's the antique Rider Waite. I don't know. I don't care. Anyway, let's get started for you. Everything, like I said, is in the description box. Sorry, did I say Gemini? Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. What do you need to know? What is hidden from your awareness? This is a spread that I came up with because I was sick and tired of doing spreads that I've been doing for like 25 years. Anyway, yeah. Please get out a pad and a pen, and you can pause when you get these words, and you can make sentences out of them or whatever you want. Okay. Pause, if you will, and see what you can get from here. Don't mind the noise outside. There are children playing next door. Perfect. Okay. So again, like I was saying before, this is a spread that I have devised to come up with what is hidden from your awareness during the month of June. We're going to start with what is hidden from your awareness about the self. Then we will move into the past. There are a couple of positions that we are going to do. It's like a box-like spread. So it's like in the middle is you, and then all around in a square around you. Now, if you've watched me before, you will know that some of the decks of cards that I have are way the hell too big for me to, shuffle like a regular human being. So we're going to do this one like a kindergarten kid. And then we'll get your cards. Of course, they've been pre-shuffled as well, so anyway. Skeptical energy. Somebody's kind of getting that wait and see because I don't believe what you have to say. Skeptical energy in terms of what's going on around you as well. Somebody could be skeptical about you. I don't believe you on something. Your analytical mind is kicking in right now as well. Twist for fairness. I like to do that. Because, some people bitch and complain about, reversals and such. I only take flippers and jumpers, which randomizes it even more. Makes it fun. What is hidden from Virgo's awareness about the self? Please also bear with me. My laptop, the screen capture button is misfiring, so I have to get it looked at. And then I can be back on regular webcam instead of using my cell phone. Hidden from your awareness about the self at the core of you. 10 Pentacles in the reverse. A feeling like there's a lack of legacy. Feeling a sense of, it's like there's a sense of loss of direction when it comes to creating something that outlives the self. you may have a lot of restless energy about disconnectedness, and well, it's more like you have like restless energy, but you're not quite sure where it's originating from. It's actually due to a disconnectedness from your legacy, a disconnectedness from something that provides you with a stability in the home space, but more than that, something that provides you with that feeling of being dialed in, and that feeling of contributing towards something greater that will outlast your name. Something, well, no, it's more like something that perpetuates your name. And that restless energy, you can't quite put your finger on where it's coming from. What's hidden from your awareness at this time is because you're disconnected from what your true path is, or what's going to help you to contribute to a legacy or to your own legacy. The word legacy always comes up with the 10 of Pentacles, of course. But it's not, what does legacy really mean? For some people, it doesn't necessarily mean having an estate to leave to their children. For some people, it's about living forever, like that the immortality of something. They always say that you die 2 deaths, right? You die 1 death when you actually physically die, and then you die an additional death when people speak your name for the last time. And there's a restless energy or troubled energy within yourself, and you can't quite put your finger on why. And I think if you search within yourself, it's because you may not be living into something that provides you with a sense of immortality in a way. Something that you can live when you no longer, you're not connected to your true purpose. And that takes a lot of soul searching. It takes a lot of knowing who you really are on the inside. So having to connect with the self in order to find out what that is integral to the process. Moving into what was hidden from your awareness in the past. We're going to take 3 cards for each position, but what we're going to do next here is we're going to talk about what was hidden from your awareness in the past. Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. I don't do fast food tarot, but I don't want this to take a million years. So we'll unpack what we need to, but I'm not clarifying. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to clarify when I move into the readings again, because you're the last sign. And then I'm going to start again with Gemini, and I haven't even decided what spread I'm going to do. But hidden from your awareness in the recent past, no clarifiers, right? Okay. So we have the 5 of Cups in the reverse. A feeling of gratitude. Somebody might be grateful for you, or they're just experiencing gratitude for you. Gratitude for a situation. Hidden from your awareness also could be that there is this is where you should be grateful, right? This is the warning that you should be grateful for what contents have not been spilled from the 2 cups behind, whereas in the reverse, it is the experiencing gratitude. Somebody's experiencing gratitude for you, potentially, or gratitude for a situation that you may have presented to someone, or gratitude for a situation that you are involved in. What else? Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Do we have anything? I don't think we do. I think we're good. I think we're good. Okay. I think we're good. Somebody might have gratitude for putting a conflict to bed or to rest. It's if they feel as if they have gratitude for the fact that they no longer are in conflict with you. Doesn't necessarily mean that they're all buddy with you, but it could be that they no longer feel as if they're at peace with something. Could be. Tell me more. hidden from Virgo's awareness in the recent past. Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Knight of Pentacles in the reverse. This is, sorry, this is your energy. Disconnectedness with the self, standstill, stagnancy, gratitude for, I want to read these as a sentence afterwards here. There's the gratitude, the experiencing of gratitude, but also stagnance, standstill energy. Knight of Pentacles is normally like that stop motion, but in the reverse, excuse me, in the reverse, it's complete halt to activity. Normally the Knight of Pentacles is analytical, strategic, and logical in his action moving forward towards something, and that's why he moves so slow. But when it's in the stop, it's because somebody needs to completely pause button on all action moving forward, because they need to continue to analyze from a space where they can kind of sit back and survey, kind of like the Hanged Man card, right? And in fact, it's interesting because the Hanged Man is the zodiacal, counterpart to Virgo. It's your opposite on the astrological wheel, right? So being the slowest moving from an analytical perspective, and then having it in the reverse is somebody who has completely put themselves up on the peg so that they can kind of like watch and survey from all perspectives and points of view. So there's somebody in your midst, or you there was a need for you to be stagnant in the recent past. You may not have been aware of that. Well, you were surrounded by a situation where there was an immense amount of gratitude, or somebody was grateful for you, or grateful for putting something to rest in terms of a conflict. Could have been grateful that you were putting something on pause or holding back on something instead of moving forward, however slow that you were doing it in the first place. When I get the last card, I'll be able to kind of tell a little bit better. We'll see. I like to read cards in succession because it's helpful from a reader's standpoint. Think of getting a card like it's a word or a phrase, and then when you get them all in succession, you can read them as if they're sentences. Tell us more. In the recent past, hidden from, we got two. Queen of Pentacles in the reverse. Yeah, losing out, angry or disconnected Capricorn energy, a home space that is not necessarily super inviting. What's the word I'm looking for? Inhospitable home space, or a lack of ambition and determination and drive. This is Capricorn energy. Normally in the upright, we would say that this is a Capricorn who is creating a luxurious, refined home space, a comfortable home space. In the reverse, it can be somebody who is making an inhospitable environment, but also lacks ambition. With this, it's loss. Losing something, losing out. Losing my mind. What's that? Nights like this don't make things any better. I'm losing my mind. It's called Losing. I can't remember the name of the band. Let's read these as a sentence for right here. Let's do her up. Okay. Gratitude. Gratitude for something stopping and becoming stagnant. Because there was a lack of drive and ambition towards something, because it was fighting a losing battle. Thank you. See how that works. It's so beautifully written. Well, not beautifully written. It clearly spelled out here for you. Somebody was grateful that the forward action that you were taking towards something halted, because it lacked hospitality. It lacked ambition and determination to succeed. It wasn't comfortable. It wasn't comforting. And it was almost as if it was fighting a losing battle of sorts. Cancer season could have been important in terms of this, which we're coming up to, but we're talking about the past. So a past Cancer season. I'm a Capricorn. I'm ruled by time. So often when we see reversals of court cards and we talk about timing, we can kind of look at this as the opposite on the zodiac wheel, you know? So yeah, that's what I see there. I'm not going to give you alternative interpretations because I'm not feeling into alternative. I'm not feeling, it's not that I'm not feeling into them. I don't feel an alternative interpretation. Well, that's what was hidden from your awareness. Something stopped. They didn't feel, they were glad that you halted activity and action forward on something because it was fighting a losing battle. There was no ambition towards it. They didn't feel determined and driven towards it or motivated towards it either. And they were grateful for that. Top of mind for you or divine guidance hidden from your awareness at this time during June. Virgo, Sun and Moon, Rising and Venus. It's kind of like the what crowns you, but hidden from your awareness. Sorry, I'm drinking like iced coffee. I'm into the coffee right now. Let's see here. Top of mind, hidden from your awareness, but also, you know, divine guidance coming from above, hidden from your awareness, but coming from above. During June, Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising in Venus. I saved the one that was going to fall out the bottom, but something came out from the top, from above. Confusion, deception, nightmares, sleeping side of tan. What happens in the dark. There is deception about there's confusion and deception where somebody might feel as if somebody's watching something, but they're not. Or it's willful ignorance, willful blindness. Also fear. Piscean energy or Cancerian energy. I feel like this is Cancer energy. Fun that we should be, you know, approaching during June. Especially, well, it'll be the solstice. So it'll be Letha when we get to June 21st. It'll be Letha, the summer solstice, but for all my pagan folks out there, it'll be Letha when we hit Cancer season. So the moon, Cancerian season, and it's appropriate that we have that there, but fear, deception, and confusion about why somebody is not watching for the purposes of learning. It is willful ignorance, willful blindness. Somebody is determined not to look at something. See how this is completely turned away from the moon. It doesn't want to watch. It doesn't want to learn. It doesn't want to speak. It doesn't want to speak from an impetuous and impulsive, this Page of Swords. He doesn't want to speak from an impetuous and impulsive space either during the night. There's confusion surrounding that, fear. Someone feels deceived about it or like they feel like there's some ulterior motive, but it's willful. This person is refusing to do so. Here, it's like, here, I am determined to be impulsive and use my silver tongue, much like this sword, to irresponsibly lop people's heads off carelessly, you know? But in the reverse, it's not like that at all. It's the opposite. It's like, I am completely ignoring this on purpose. I don't want to be irresponsible with my words. I am turning a blind eye to this on purpose. There's confusion about that, though. On your part. I mean, you know, a lot of people say, you know, reverse energy as it applies. I think here I'm kind of feeling you're the one confused about why. But there's this over here, that Page of Swords in the reverse is somebody else who's turned away from the moon. Could have Cancer in your chart. Yeah. They want to let sleeping dogs lie. Let sleeping dogs lie. Sorry. Not really up in the I'm not fond of the cliches, but yeah. What else? Divine guidance, what's coming from above, messages from above, hidden from your awareness at this time. Leave it alone. Leave it alone again tonight. Moist, leave it alone. It's like David Usher's band from like the early 90s. For us old people. It's a Canadian thing. But leave it alone again tonight. Okay. Somebody could be seeing messages but leaving somebody on read, or leaving things like, oh yeah, I saw it, but I'm not going to reply to it. Or like not even looking at it. Justice in reverse. This doesn't feel fair to you. It doesn't feel balanced. Yeah, it's communication that's not balanced. Or it also could be that this other person doesn't think it's just and fair to indulge you in some way. Like it's wrong. It's imbalanced. It's not fair. It could also be that it has to do with the law. For real. Libra season figures here also, though. Could be dealing with a Libra individual, but I don't think so. I don't think it's a Libra individual. I think it's more that they're not communicating because they don't think it would be fair, or you know. And there's also this feeling that there's a lack of balance in it. Like one person is doing a lot is more invested from a headspace. Because we have air, and then we have air. And then we have the water there. Kind of gets you moody, maybe. And frustrated that this is happening also with that moon card there. It doesn't make sense for them to indulge you by looking at things, or like it would be encouraging it to continue communicating from an impulsive space, or you know, demonstrating that they're paying attention. Well, here's a better way to look at it. Sorry. They're turned away from the moon card. They're completely ignoring it. They're not looking at it at all. They've got their eye on the Justice card, looking at how unfair it would be. Do you know? How the equilibrium is off. How dishonest it is. Maybe to pay attention to it, or the communication, or to indulge in the communication rather, or demonstrate that they're observing something, would be the deception, would be indulging in deception. Because the Justice card in the reverse is also a lack of truth. It's a lack of truth, fairness, equilibrium, and balance. Right? also about not making sense. I mean, see the sword there? It's a sort of intellect. Well, the sword is Athena's sword, really. But, I mean, it's also about intellect. Air is intellect also. They're not interested in learning about something. They don't want to know. They're blocking they're blocking the opportunity to learn about something. They don't want to expand their knowledge on something. Bubbling up from yourself is Jesus. Okay, so you could be dealing with a Leo or an Aries, because this was the same misnomer, or like, sorry, Freudian slip, I guess you could say, as with them. I wonder if we're going to have the same cards come down. I would have to watch the other signs for that. But bubbling up from your subconscious, not your self-conscious, bubbling up from your subconscious during this time that's hidden from your awareness. What is below you? What is beneath you? It's beneath this person to watch this. The Tower. There's a surprise coming. You might be surprised. There's a revelation that is occurring to you during June. Scorpio energy. Has to do with your emotions. Could be something that you're stubbornly holding on to with your emotions. Fixed energy is Scorpio water, fixed energy. But something that has to do with your emotions. What are you stubbornly holding on to emotionally? It's an epiphany that there's something that dawns on you, and it's one of those moments that kind of wipes things out so that you can start new, start fresh, move forward in some regard. It's not cataclysmic for, like, you know, it's not cataclysmic. If it was, then it'd be this. You know what I mean? It's, you know, it might actually be, you know, it's not to your detriment, it's for your growth. But there's an epiphany or revelation of sorts that is going to occur to you during June. Tell us more. Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. Has to do with where you were fighting losing battles in the past with stuff. Definitely. Okay. Yeah. It's got to do with your choices of mate. Something that you're indulging in during this season. Gemini, of course. But that you have choice when it comes to your connections with others, your emotional connections with others, romantic connections in particular. That you do have choice. Choice is afforded you. But could the revelation be, I'm going to pose this question before I get the additional card, but could the revelation be where you chose others over yourself? You know? Where you stubbornly chose or were fixed on choosing one particular individual, or were locked onto that when you had other options, or like, it's the revelation that the choice is yours to choose yourself, or choose somebody else, or choose a certain lover, or maybe that somebody else isn't choosing you. So why are you continuing on in that vein? We'll see. Tell me more. Virgo. Jesus. Gosh. Virgo, tell me more. Maybe it's because it's so prevalent, but I'm seeing the Three of Swords a lot every time I shuffle. I think it's because of the patterning on the cards. I don't think it's a you guys thing. Virgo. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. Tell us. What is this? In your subconscious. Okay. Getting these like this. Yeah. The inability to be adventurous and take risks, and also a lack of faith, hope, and understanding in terms of your healing also. Faith, hope, and then the understanding of where your healing needs to take place, like a disconnectedness from healing, but you also don't have much faith and hope in something. You might also be disconnected from a greater path of promise. But here there's also the inability to be adventurous and take risks. You're not living into it's like you're connected to during Aries and Gemini season, you were connected to something that might have had to do with a Aquarius that was not necessarily healed, or like you're locked onto an option here, like it was the safe bet, but it wasn't the path of promise, or because you weren't willing to be adventurous and take calculated risks. I'm going to say, because I'm a Capricorn and I only take calculated risks. But when it comes to love, you were locked onto certain options because you thought they were the safe route. There was a lack of understanding in terms of your healing as well. Maybe there's additional healing that you have to do that you're not focusing on, but you don't have a lot of faith and hope in something, and you're not connected with the path of most promise. You're disconnected from that. You're not living into that. The Lovers is the choice, remember. Lovers is for in this and all lives I choose you. And actually, I often find that when I view the Lovers in the reverse, it is making the choice. And here it is when you are presented with choice, either choosing oneself or choosing another. But the revelation here is, as I said, the revelation is that you have always made the safe choice. You always went with the safe bet. The revelation is that you always, when it came to a lover, you went with the path of least resistance. The thing that was, the easy route. The one that didn't see you potentially falling on your ass or face. And, not really trusting the process as well. With that star in the reverse, not trusting the process, not having a vision, like a longer vision. There's also, I'm also getting here with that Tower in the reverse that it's like the revelation that from the beginning, if you can't see off in the distance a future with somebody, why do you continue to pursue it? Even if is it because it's the safe bet? Is it because it requires very little risk on your part? It's like if you know somebody's crazy about you, you just kind of go with it, and but you can see there is no longer term vision. Like you can tell that you're not going to be jazzed on it like later on, but you do it anyway. Bang your head against the wall, see if it still hurts. You continue to do the same things. You have a pattern here of doing this. And you stubbornly hold on to things, insisting that they're the safe bet, so they must be the thing. But you know in the end that they don't have the long-term vision attached to them. And in the end, you lose faith and hope in them, and that's what proves fatal. That's the fatal flaw. Not fatal, realistically, not literally. But that's the fatal flaw in terms of the Lovers' connections. It's a safe bet, so it should work. All right. Moving forward for you. What is hidden from your awareness moving forward from June? What do we got? Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Sorry, it's my Friday, and I'm not really feeling like playing psychiatrist today. Otherwise, I could, take that on a little bit longer. Six of Pentacles, balance, equilibrium. Also another Libra card. You're going to experience a time of either being the charity or the charitable moving forward from June. You might have an opportunity to give back, or you might be in a place, in a position where you might need to accept help or admit where accepting help is okay. Libra energy could also be where the balance of give and take in a situation is something that you need to recognize, where it's lacking, right? Tell us more. There, I knew it was gonna fucking come out. There you go. Yeah. There's heartbreak here. Deep, immense pain. It has to do with a need for balance and equilibrium in a situation. If you're locked on to this thing with somebody not watching, because it's not fair, it's not just, it's time to move on now from that. Because if you're sitting around, speculating as to all of these different conspiracy theories about why somebody must not be paying enough attention to you, and I'm just going to use that as an example, more often than not, people come to tarot for these types of things. Oh, is that person really watching me? And there are just all these other reasons why, like the nefarious person over here who's taking them away from me and blah, blah, blah. No, come on. You know what I mean? People do what they want to do. People show you who they are on a consistent basis. And, effort equals interest. If somebody wants to be with you, they will physically be by your side. No holds barred all the time. Somebody wants to be with you, they will be with you by your side. Eating dinner with you, sleeping beside you. Don't let anybody tell you any different. And people do show you who they are. So believe them when they do. Here in the future, you have a need for balance, the recognition that there is a need for balance. This is observing balance. This is when things come into balance, or when there is a lack of balance. This is the tarot screeching balance, balance, balance. Come into balance, or recognize the balance. And then here we have heartbreak, pain, sadness. Tell me more. Maybe you're bringing something into balance, and that's why the sadness. There's immense sadness at the realization that you have to bring something into balance, or that that it's time to bring something into balance, or you're bringing something into balance and it's creating a sense of heartbreak for somebody. I think that the realization here is that things are not in balance. And so you're going to bring things into balance, which of course, requires a little bit of pain when we have to admit that to ourselves, right? Is this too many? It's 3. I can take 3. I will not take 4. So there's movement forward. There's moving on. There's moving on from this. It could be a trip over water or over seas. 6 of Swords, trip over water, trip over seas, moving forward, leaving something terrible and painful behind so that you can go over to that cool little, island over there with all the green stuff, instead of, being destitute in your little boat with your swords. You're leaving it behind because you're coming into balance with yourself, maybe, right? After the realization of self-deception, that you deceived yourself. We had to go to the 6 to come back to the 5. We had to observe the 6 to recognize the 5. We had to experience that little island there. We had to leave something behind in order to recognize how much we were actually deceiving ourselves. And then when we take our destiny into our own hands with the Emperor, and we take the lead on our own future, when we are the firm-handed leader, the confident, dominant rather than domineering leader, Aries energy, and we take the world into our own hands, our destiny into our own hands, we can get more connected with this guy right here, the 10 of Pentacles. Because this is fucking pain. Coming into balance requires pain so that we can move forward, finally realizing where we deceived ourselves, taking control finally, instead of allowing other people to be in control of how things pan out. Bottom of the deck for you. I don't mean to laugh. It's just the way I am. Bottom of the deck for you, the Hierophant. Permission versus not permission, you know, all the buzzwords that we love to use in the tarot community. But the Hierophant, this is about sage advice, counsel, connectedness with highly structured religious organizations, but also about institutions that have hierarchies, spirituality that has a higher order. Oftentimes we would look at this as something that has to do with marriage, but I'm not seeing all of this being a marriage spread. I'm seeing this as being more of a, you know, coming back to God or returning to a place of structure and balance. You might be connecting with counselors or people who can provide you with sage advice in a time when you're feeling as if things are off kilter for you. You're feeling very confused. You're not really seeing the forest for the trees. And I think in the future here, in this line here, we see where you have to get some distance on something and put something away to really realize how much you were kind of fooling yourself about it so that you could take your power back, right? Okay. That's what I've got for you, Virgo. That's what's hidden. Remember, this is just June. But in the grand scheme of things, I think this is also a pretty good life lesson. Chalk it up to life lessons, if you will. Better to rip a Band-Aid off now when it's just it's a scratch or a little slice in the skin as opposed to a bullet hole, because you can't put a Band-Aid over a bullet hole. In any event, have a great June. We'll see when we see you next. Do this if it made sense to you, because we love to get that validation. And then also subscribe if you're not subscribed yet, and we'll see you when we see you next. Toodaloo.